guys, welcome back to another episode of Dimitra's Dishes. Today we're going to make Phoinikota. Phoinikota are a Cypriot and Greek Kourambiedes, which is an almond cookie that's made without the nuts in the dough. Instead, there's a delicious surprise in the center. I like to fill mine with either dates or a nut filling. I'm going to show you how to do both. Make a hot pot of tea and call some friends over, you guys, because these are delicious. Let's begin by making the date paste. So you begin by removing the pit from the dates. I'm using these dates that I bought at the store. I always have dates in the house because we snack on them and they're just a deliciously sweet and chewy snack to have. If you have a Middle Eastern or Mediterranean supermarket nearby, you can find the already made paste, so that way you can skip this step. If you can find it, then that just skips this whole thing. It doesn't take a long time. All you have to do is take all of the pitted dates, you put them in a food processor, you pulse it a few times until a paste is formed, and that's it, then you're done. This is what it looks like once it's done. So I'm just going to add a couple tablespoons, like a tablespoon or two of olive oil to this. You could use any vegetable oil that you have that doesn't have too much flavor. And I'm just going to mix this all together. Now you could flavor this date paste if you want to with a little bit of cinnamon, some cloves. That would be fine too. I just love the flavor that dates already have. The only other thing that I do to this is once I form the little balls, because this is going to be the filling and I'm going to make little balls of date paste, I like to just roll them in some pistachios, some ground up pistachios, and that's what I'm going to do right now. This oil is going to help the filling stay nice and soft. So if you have a kitchen scale, that's going to be very helpful. We're going to weigh these to be about 15 grams each, and it doesn't have to be perfect. If it's 13 or 16, no big deal. And then we're just going to roll them and set them aside. You can weigh them out first and then roll them. So once you're done forming the little date balls, you can leave them as is and use them as a filling for your cookies, or you can roll them in some chopped nuts. I like to roll them in some ground up pistachios. These are unsalted. Next, we're going to make the nut filling. I love to use walnuts, so I have some ground walnuts here. So I have 125 grams of ground walnuts here. I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. It's going to give it a nice baklava flavor, with a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, about 2 tablespoons of granulated sugar, put a little tiny bit more. Mix everything all together so the nuts are coated in that lovely spice mixture. And then we're going to add a little bit of water. Now you can do rose water if you want. I like plain water because I don't like the competing flavors of the rose with the cinnamon and the cloves, but it's completely up to you. This water is going to help them sort of stick together when we go ahead and put them in the cookies. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of water. Oh, this smells so good. It smells just like baklava in here. That's it. The fillings are done. Now we're going to make the dough. Now that the fillings are both ready, we're going to move on to making the dough, which is so simple to do. We're going to begin with the dry ingredients. I'm going to put 2 cups of all-purpose flour into this bowl. I'm going to sift it just in case there are any hard bits in here that you don't want in your cookies. 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and we're just going to pass it through. Now I'm going to zest the small clementine over here. You can do 1/4 of an orange. Make sure when you're zesting you get the bright orange part. When you get down to the white, you do not zest that. That's very bitter. Just mix everything all together. Dry ingredients are done. Now I'm going to do this all in my stand mixer, but you could definitely do this in a big mixing bowl with a hand mixer. That would work too. I'm going to add 2 sticks of unsalted butter. That's 1/2 pound. You want to make sure that it's nice and soft and at room temperature. I'm going to do 1/2 cup of confectioner sugar and a tablespoon of granulated sugar. And I'm going to beat this on high speed until it's nice and fluffy. That is good. At this point, you could flavor it however you like. I love to do vanilla extract, but you could do a combination of vanilla extract and almond extract to get that Kourambiedes flavor. And then if you're doing the almond extract, you would do an almond filling. So instead of using the ground walnuts, do the ground almonds. Instead of the vanilla extract, you can do a tablespoon of rosewater extract. That will be really nice too. But today I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. Then I'm going to add 2 egg yolks, and I'm going to beat this over high speed until it's nice and fluffy. I'm also going to make sure that I scrape down the sides of the bowl. And now I'm going to add the flour mixture, the dry ingredients, in 2 to 3 batches until they're incorporated. And you want to mix that on low speed so you don't end up wearing it. Transfer the dough to a well-floured work surface and roll it out into a log. Then go ahead and cut it into 20 to 22 equal pieces. Each portion should weigh 30 grams. It can go a little bit lower, like 27 or 28 or 26. As long as it's close to 30 grams, you're going to be good to go. Roll them into little balls, and now we're going to fill them. So you want to have 2 baking trays ready that are lined with parchment paper, and the oven should be preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Take 1 ball at a time and flatten it a little bit. And I'm going to do the date ones first. So I'm going to put the date ball in the center, and then I'm going to close it up. Then go ahead and place it on the baking tray. So that's how you do the date balls. Now I'm going to fill some of them with the spiced walnut filling. So you do the same thing. You flatten them out, and then you take some of the filling and you put it in the center. It's about a half a teaspoon. You could even do a full teaspoon if you wanted more filling. Close it up, roll it into a ball, and then put it on the baking tray. I'm going to continue to fill these until all of the dough is finished. So now it's time to decorate them. I do this using a fork. You can use 2 forks to get different textures on there. So I'm going to take 1 ball at a time, and I'll show you that the first method, you want to make sure that it's shaped into a ball. And then you take the fork and you just press it down all across the top. Another way to do it is to decorate the sides. You take 1 ball and you put it where you want it to be on the baking tray. You press it down to flatten it out a little bit. And then you go all around the sides with the fork, pressing the fork in. And then you can just poke the top. Let's do 1 more. Flatten it up and go all around the sides with the fork, pressing the fork in. I'm going to continue to decorate these, and they're going to bake in the oven for about 20 minutes. You want them to stay pale on the top and to get just golden brown around the sides and on the bottom. I'll show you what they look like as soon as they come out. My cookies were ready in 20 minutes. Once they come out of the oven, let them sit at room temperature for 5 or 10 minutes to cool. Then go ahead and dust them with some confectioner's sugar and make some tea and get ready to enjoy a delicious cookie. Let me go in and take a bite. First, I'm going to test the one with the date filling. I left the date filling ones a little bit domed so I could tell the difference. They smell so good. Oh my God, so amazing. The cookie just melts in your mouth, it crumbles. The date filling is nice and soft and chewy. I love the pistachio coating on top of the date. The whole thing is a 10 out of 10 in my book. Now time to taste the walnut flavored ones, or the walnut filled ones. Just amazing. The cookie is just as crumbly and melts in your mouth. The filling though is tastes just like baklava. So if you like a baklava filled cookie, this is the one for you. That cinnamon adds the perfect hint of spice. I'm gonna go on over to the stovetop and make myself a hot cup of tea because I need one. I'm gonna sit down and finish 1 of each, hopefully not more than that. You guys can go on over to the website, www.dimitrasdishes.com, print this recipe, call some friends over, share the goodness. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me today. If you want to see more cookie recipes, make sure you click on the card section right here, and I will see you over there. Bye guys.